I mean, he squeaked
yeah,
by in the
again,
Electoral College in 2016, but he's lost.
Again, Trump rules aren't. He should be dead. He should be dead like 6 times over by now, right? If it wasn't the gunshot to the head, then it should have been the fucking fish fillet sandwiches for breakfast. If it wasn't that, then it should have been the fact that he doesn't drink water or like what it's like it's any of those things, anything, right? He shouldn't be alive at all.
Right.
Like, so the fact that
he's like the least healthy, like 78-year-old. Like,
yeah, he's living in total defiance of laws of physics and health and things that we thought were definite, like, laws, right? He's defying God.
Somebody should have peer pressured him into smoking cigarettes back in the day. He'd definitely be out by now. Like,
yeah, or drinking.
Yeah.
Like, is this how you mean to tell me that you can just live to 80 on McDonald's if you don't drink?
Don't drink or smoke, yeah. And but the only vice is you take like some like fucking weird diet pills that like, so you can keep your Adderall. That's
of course. That's
But yeah, I guess maybe if you just pick one and stick with it, that one, and the rest of your body does okay. I don't know, except for smoking, smoking and drinking probably are the two that take most.
The two that I love most, and but that's also I don't care, I need to live that long. It's more than half over for me. It's fine. But
you really want to be in like Biden's state,
which
would you rather have it in before then?
You absolutely. I don't want to live to be 80. Yuck.
Yeah. I want to live long enough to where I think that I'm president.
Yeah. I want to live long enough to be able to freak people out by freak out little kids by taking my dentures out and putting them back in real fast. But that's but whatever. I don't take that good care of my teeth either, so that'll be coming sooner. Let me grab another beer.
Tim Walz.
Him. Okay. He's the Hassan guy. Hassan really likes him.
And yeah, a lot of the left-wing people like him. A lot of like Republicans in his state like him too. He's been a very effective he's type of politician people actually like. Let's put that.
Good.
He has a lot of Bernie like policies, but he's a military guy, and he can talk to right wingers really.
Oh
easily.
Yeah, all right, great.
Great. Yeah, and he's the one. He's the guy who
this up.
Yeah, he's the one that came up with the weird campaign too.
What, him?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I love him now.
Remember you told me you got 2 texts about it was like a poll text, right? One of them asked about the weird thing, calling Republicans weird.
It was are you weird? Are Democrats weird? And are Republicans weird? Right? And my answer to all 3, it was it was multiple choice, right? So it was are you weird? I'm like, hell yeah, the weirdest, right? And then like, are the Democrats weird? And I'm like, oh, you mean weird like how they've been saying it on the news. Like, so I'm like, I wanted to go back and change my earlier answer because it's like I'm not that kind of weird. Like I would say I'm the opposite of that kind of like yeah, but weird as a adjective, I love weird usually, right? But uh Democrats are weird in an off-putting way, and Republicans are weird in a terrifying way. Right? That's what. So it's like I gave the Democrats one notch below weirdest, right? And the Republicans, it was like, oh yeah, they're weird as fuck. They're fucking nuts. They're out of their goddamn minds. They're thinking about children's genitals all the time, and fucking, you know, and they still are doing. They're still doing that. Like it's not that didn't go away at all.
Yeah, they're still like having their like burn book piles and all that shit. But yeah, what was the other poll that you said you had another poll asking about the VP pick, right, or something? It was like same day.
Yeah, it was those polls all that shit comes at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So like every like once maybe every 2 weeks I get a poll that's like, oh okay, they're actually probably going to use this, right? Like, and I guarantee you that fucking at least I'd say a quarter of the people who had been being polled about Biden took my advice, whatever, like had the same thought that I did, right? Which was that you poll, whenever you're asked a poll question, you say, under no circumstances will I ever vote for Joe Biden, ever, right? Even if you don't believe that, say it, right? Because because number one, that'll get him to drop, and number two, that might have some tangible effect on the Israel-Palestine, maybe, right? It's like if it's clear to them that because they all those questions come at the same time. It's, you know, who will you vote for? What are your political leanings? You know, and then they give you issues. But the number one issue for fucking months has been like, do you think? They put Ukraine first, right? Like, what do you think about Ukraine? And it's like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about Ukraine. Whatever, do whatever. I don't care. There's far more money being spent on other things, and I don't give a shit about Ukraine. Go ahead, keep giving them stuff or whatever, or don't. Whatever, right? They should probably stop, but that's just me. You know, I don't know. I'm not Ukraine. But then it's like they use the Ukraine stuff to frame the questions about Israel, right? They're like, oh, should we keep sending Israel weapons? It's like, no, never. We should stop. We should put trade embargoes on them. And then it's like, you know, where do your sympathies lie, right? It's like they have a mealy mouth one too, like with both, right? And like, no, Palestine only, ever, right? Like it's like, oh, and would you know, does this affect your stance on who the president is, right, or whatever? And it's like, well, yeah, like, or
as far as you're concerned, Bucko.
Yeah, no, or as far as you know, as far as I want you to know, right? Because it's also like, would you ever consider voting for Donald Trump? And it's like, no, I wouldn't do that either, right? I always write in my political affiliation as state socialist. I've added state to it too, just to be fun. But like then you know, it's like which party do you lean more towards, right? And I've been still saying that, like, well, I lean more Democrat. Because it's like I say that to put emphasis on the fact that, like, it's Joe Biden's policies on Israel-Palestine. That's the reason why I won't vote for you know what I mean? I won't do it. I'll vote down ballot for Democrats where I live because that's all you get. You either get the fucking dog shit centrist Democrat or you get the fucking lunatic Republican here. That's just how it works where I live, right? Like, and you stop the Republican guy here because fucking nothing else is happening here. We're fine with immigrants. we don't care about if you're gay or whatever. It's like no one cares, right? There's not gangs of people beating up, people with strange accents or pink flags. You know what I'm saying? Like I live in a middle of the road, no, leave everybody alone place. Because this is the trend that I've been noticing that is just unbelievable to me, right? So the harm reductionists left, people who still might vote for a Democrat, they're like, Kamala is killing it. She is doing great, right? This is what I keep hearing. I keep seeing headlines about this, or whatever. I keep hearing people talk about it, right? The centrist MSNBC, CNN people are concerned, right? They're concerned that the enthusiasm is going to drop. They're like, she's not out of the woods yet. Trump is still winning technically, which I don't know what polls everybody's looking at. It seems like it's a dead heat still, which is.
I think honestly, Kamala's kind of pushing ahead in some of the more recent polls, but it's more or less a toss up at this point.
Yeah, and it just depends on the poll. So
she's definitely been doing better than Biden, though.
Well,
polls have been looking much worse for Trump in the past 2 weeks. It's only been 2 weeks, right? Something like that. I mean, it'd be 2 weeks.
A little more.
Something, yeah. We're like
the last time we recorded, he dropped out. He had dropped out like the night before.
Right. So we're 2 weeks in.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's. And then. So anyway, so the middle of the road people they're concerned, right? And they're hedging their bets, and the Republicans, the right wingers, are freaking out, and that is hilarious.
Yeah,
but it's also very strange. It's like, so that means that the further left of the Democrats, they're like fist pumping, right? The Republicans are freaking out because apparently that's who they're listening to, and the centrist Dems, the David Axelrod people, are like, let's not count our chickens before they hatch, right?
Well, here's how I would like frame all that. So you have the left media people who are not in the horse race media landscape like the MSNBC people are. They're separated from it, right? They're kind of covering the same shit, but they're not quite in the same, like, they're not seeing it from the same angle. The MSNBC people have seen candidates go up and down in the polls over the course of several elections. They've watched this shit to a scientific degree.
Yeah, with a magnifying glass.
Right, and they'll notice every little thing. They've seen, candidate look like they're going a bunch of momentum. They're looking good, and then something comes out, some big story, bombshell, and then they plummet in like all that kind of shit. They're being like realistic in that regard. I think at the moment the polling is looking really good for Harris. It looks like it could be nothing but improvement Like she has all the potential in the world, basically, is kind of
Right.
the way to look at it. And
Well, she has all the potential in the world to fuck it up too.
exactly.
She is Kamala Harris.
Right. So that's where you're at. That's where we're at right now. Is you've got the more optimistic people like the YouTubers, and then you got the more pessimistic or realists or whatever you want to call them in the media, who are, well, let's not, call it a win yet.
Hey guys, listen, we were up in the polls before this time, and
They remember the feeling when Hillary lost. They remember that feeling, and it hit them hard. So,
and dude, that's the other thing, is that I really feel like that whatever the fuck, Hillary's baggage notwithstanding, right? Because the argument that Hillary lost because she's Hillary and not because she's a woman, like, has been had to death, and I essentially think it's correct, right? I think that but I think that it will be a huge fucking blow to, like, women of color running for office if Kamala eats shit this time. But I would say that the concerns that I have that came specifically from Hillary Clinton, right, that, like, her losing gave me this whole other, like, it's like it started as, oh, I guess we just do hate women, right? And women do too, right? Like, women hate women and men hate women and everybody hates women, right? That was my initial reaction. Then that turned into, well, women hate Hillary Clinton. And in fact, don't we all, right? And then I wrote that for a long time. That's because that's just true. But I would say that without the machine of people, without the machine that was the Clinton kill list type shit, right? Without all that, so Hillary being still worse, right? Kamala, the thing that concerns me is that Kamala feels just as strange and sort of otherworldly and not quite human in the way that Hillary Clinton did.
But so does Trump. I mean,
well, but that doesn't. None of the rules for anyone else matter when it comes to Trump. Trump is his own weird thing that is specific, and the people that love him, and the people that hate him, and no one's ever going to change their opinion about Trump, right? No, I just refuse to believe that somebody's like, actually, Trump seems to have softened his position on this and this, so I was thinking about voting for Biden, but now I think I'm going to vote for Trump, right? I don't buy it, right?
No.
I think that maybe that's some shit that some people say so that their wives and girlfriends will still have sex with them, but that's it. You know what I mean? Unless they drink fully too. Who knows? That's the white women in this country are the most baffling species of person because they don't even vote along their own gender, like they don't vote along their own gender-based fucking interests. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you have to realize when they do those polls, like white women, like the average age there is probably like 50 something. Like we're not talking
we're not talking about white girls.
Like, yeah, we're not talking about like women in their 20s and 30s who could possibly be in a abortion or no abortion type situation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that skews it quite a bit.
If it didn't feel like that was already over and we are already in Underground Railroad territory where that's concerned, then I would say that the Democrats are shoo-ins, right? It's theirs to lose, absolutely, right? And I still do think it's theirs to lose, right? I've heard a lot of people say it's actually Trump's race to lose, which is shocking to me that anyone would say that or think that, because it's Trump's fucking just being there. Like, what he doesn't.
If it was still Biden versus Trump, then yeah, it was Trump's race to lose.
Right.
But
Kamala, it's hers to lose now. It's absolutely hers to lose. And the one thing I know about Kamala Harris is that she's a fucking loser.